Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is Christina here. So today we're diving into Donut County and we're going to go for a 100% completion run on PC Game Pass. We're going to go through each of the achievements. I'm going to show you how to get them. We're going to talk about them. This is one of those cozy, quirky physics games where you play as a raccoon with a donut delivery app that secretly controls a hole in the ground. What is the mission? Swallow everything in sight and collect every achievement along the way. We'll go through the entire story, get every Trashopedia entry, and grab all those hidden achievements, including Eggbreaker, Pyro, Hacker, and Bandit. Alright, so let's get to the destruction. So in this first section here, where they're talking back and forth on the phone, what you can do is you can get Quack Enthusiast super early by hitting the little duck button over and over and over until you finally unlock it. You could also do this by continuing through the game and click the quacking button. Throughout the game, it does track across levels, but Quack Enthusiast, once you've quacked 100 times in the Trashopedia, you'll be able to get the achievement. So, we're soon going to make our first delivery. You're going to move the hole under the small objects, including the grass, the rocks, the cups. As the hole grows bigger and bigger, you're going to keep going. When we finish this level, we're going to unlock the first entries in the Trashopedia, which is a hilarious bestiary of random garbage. Alright, so there we go. We've swallowed everything. Here's another one of those spots where you can click the quack button over and over until you get the achievement for Quack Enthusiast. Otherwise, you're just going to keep going through the conversation until we can continue past here. Alright, this is just a lot of commentary back and forth between multiple of the characters. You can either go ahead and slow down and read it, or you can just quickly mash the button to try to get through. Alright, so here we are at level 1, Potter's Rock. Now we're in the pottery yard. Time to make a mess. So start small, grab all the little pots, then you can go for the bigger ones. You can get some of these boxes. Can't get the large box yet. We gotta keep going. Vase. So keep going here, grab the little pots first, then we can grab these bushes, looks like cactuses. It'll take us to the backyard section. You can start by grabbing these crates, the desk, all these little blocks. Now there is an achievement that we're going to be able to get here. It's going to relate to the hot air balloon that you can see over at the end there that we will get to shortly. Right now, we can just continue to keep swallowing all the little items and to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So now what you're going to do is you're going to swallow the big furnace fire pit there. That's going to cause the fire to start within the hole. You're going to hold it under the balloon for a little bit. And then you're going to get the achievement Pups Odyssey. It'll break apart some rocks in that. You're going to be able to go ahead and start swallowing the rocks. And then eventually it's going to get big enough so that you can swallow the building in the center. After you complete every level, you're going to be brought to this screen here. You really don't have to do anything right now. You can go through the Trashopedia all at one time at the very end. So for now, you can just kind of skip it by. You can also then skip through all of the commentary here and get to the next level. After every level, we're going to cut back to the underground camp. Everyone BK has accidentally swallowed is now living down there. There's going to be lots of funny dialogue between the residents. It's worth watching. Or you can go ahead and just skip to get to the next level. Alright, so now on this next level, you're going to start small again. You're going to start with the grass, small rocks, then the snakes, and we're going to work our way up. Once we swallow everything in this first area, we'll be able to go to the second area. So now that you're in the second area, you're going to be able to eventually swallow the snake here, and then you're going to see that the snake's tail is going to be sticking out of the hole. This is really what you need in order to complete the rest of the level here. Every time you scare one of the chickens, it's going to raise the snake danger level. So we can start by coming over here and pressing the little button, which is going to scare the chicken. Danger level is going to go up. And we can come back here to the chicken that is on the swing. You can use the little snake's tail to swing it around until the chicken gets scared and flies off, which is going to up the danger. And then you can come over to the chicken on the sign, go round and round until the sign falls down, and then the chicken falls off, which is going to increase that snake danger again. Once it increases all the way, it's going to blow up, the snakes are going to fall out, and then you can go ahead and continue to swallow everything up. So you're going to start by collecting all of the fish and the rocks and everything here. Start small, grab everything. And the dog. Now we're going to go to the next section. So as you can see here, there's water. Start by collecting all the small items first, and then you'll see that your hole is going to fill up with water. What you need to do is go over to the bird, let the bird drink the water out of the hole, and you can keep doing that over and over. Every time that the hole gets filled with water, go ahead and let the bird drink the water out to empty it. That way you can keep collecting more items. And then the bigger the hole is, the more water it's able to collect. So it's better to grab up all the items to make a bigger hole. That way it can swallow more water and you have to go to the bird the least amount of times. So here we are at the campground level. This one's not very hard. You're going to start by swallowing the small bricks and stones. Then you can go over here and grab the 2 crates, and you can grab the corn. Now what you're going to do is swallow the fire, and once you do that, because you have the corn inside, it's going to start shooting out popcorn. And then after the popcorn shoots out, you can go ahead and swallow it back up. There's also some crows that are going to come onto the floor that you'll be able to swallow as well. We'll just finish by grabbing all of the rest of these items here in order to finish the level. Alright, next level we have here is Hopper Springs. This is one of the most charming levels in the game, the Rabbit Couple Garden. So the goal is to feed the rabbits the carrots until they multiply enough to make the hole huge. So we'll get big enough, we'll grab the carrot here. And then what you're going to do is bring the carrot over by this rock here in order to get the bunny to jump off of the rock. And then you'll see the blue bunny that's in the fence here. You're going to need to take the carrot around the fence. The blue bunny is going to start following you. Bring it all the way around the fence until the blue bunny can come out of the little gate and up the little ramp. Once the little bunny finally gets out of there, they're going to eat the carrot. Then you can finally swallow the bunnies. Once you swallow both of the bunnies, they're going to start multiplying. You can continue to go around and get the rest of the items. So here is where the bunnies really start to multiply, making the hole even larger. Now we're able to swallow that large rock on the side. Now all of the little bunnies are going to come shooting out of the hole. We can go ahead and swallow all of them back up. We can swallow all of the rock pieces until everything is gone so that we can complete the level. The next level is going to be Joshua Tree. There is an achievement in this level. You're going to see the crow off to the side on the left. So if you come over by the left where that bird is, you're going to see it knock a piece of coal off and land on the ground. You'll be able to swallow that piece of coal, and then you're going to be able to swallow the fire. That's going to light it on fire. Then you can go over and put that fire under the trailer and start a fire over there. Once you light everything on fire, you're going to get the Pyro achievement. So just continue on until you get everything on fire here. If the fire runs out, just run back over, grab another piece of coal. The fire is going to start up again, and then you can go around and get the last of those couple of items. Once everything is on fire, now you can go ahead and just start collecting the items in the hole. So just keep going, swallowing all the items. As the hole gets bigger, bigger, and bigger, you can start collecting all of the large rocks here until you're finally able to collect everything. Alright, for this next level, there's a little firework station. So the little firework is going to pop out from the building. And then what you're going to want to do is hover kind of under the building so that the piece of fire falls down, lights the firework on fire. You can then grab the firework. And you'll be able to go underneath the birds to scare them off of the wire. Then you're going to want to light the firework again, but this time you're going to want to bring it under the edge of this cliff here. You're going to need to hit the edge of this cliff a couple of times before it finally breaks off. Then you can go ahead and just finish like normal. Just grab all of the items until the hole is finally big enough to swallow the building in the center. So for this next level, there is another achievement. For this level, you actually need to end up playing it twice. So one achievement is for collecting all of the items that are then going to go in the Trashopedia. But another one of the achievements is to actually do this specific level and complete the level without swallowing Boombox. So in the beginning of the level here, you're going to talk to the alligator crocodile guy. Once you get through this conversation, you'll be able to start the level. First thing that we're going to have to do here is to swallow all of these little geckos. Sometimes they become almost kind of invisible. You can see their little eyeballs. There's a couple small ones and then there's a couple larger ones. So make sure you start with the small ones first. Sometimes you might have to kind of move the hole back and forth around a little bit because they're like just barely the right size for the hole. Then when we come to the next part here, you can start by collecting all of the small items. And then just remember that you're going to have to do this level twice. So the achievement that I did on this run was to collect everything except for the boombox. But then you're going to need to replay the level later and collect everything because you're going to need to be able to complete the Trashopedia. So you can do it now or later. You can do either one first. So what I did was kind of just hit the crate a little bit in order to knock the boombox off. That way I'd be able to swallow the crate and not the boombox, and I could continue swallowing everything else until I could take the building. The chicken barn is the next level that we're going to take a look at. So in the beginning here, you can go ahead and grab all of these small items. After you swallow all the little items here, you're going to get brought to the next scene here. There's a conversation. You can just keep clicking reply to go through the conversation. Alright, so you're going to be able to buy some things here. You're going to be able to buy the energy drinks and the catapult. You're going to need to buy both of those. So now you can see that inside of the hole is a little contraption there. That's the catapult. So once it pops the crate out of the hole, let it go ahead and land on the ground. That way it'll burst open. You can collect what's inside. So now we're going to go to the next part of this level in the back of the barn here. So now what you're going to want to do is shoot the chicken up near the back of the barn, and you're going to pull the string down so that the chicken can go into the upper part of the barn. Once you're able to do that, then we're going to go to the front of the barn for the next portion. So now what you'll see is the eggs are going to start popping out here. You're going to want to catch the eggs, and you're going to want to let the catapult shoot the egg over by the door that's open so that it can hit the switch. So now a bunch of eggs are going to come out at one time. So now in order to unlock a achievement, you're going to need some eggs to hit the floor and break first. That's how you'll get the achievement Egg Breaker. You're going to break 3 dozen eggs, but then you're going to want to collect a bunch of the eggs to make the hole bigger and bigger and bigger. And then eventually you're going to be able to swallow up the side piece of the barn, the little silo that's over there. And you'll be able to swallow up the rest of the pieces in order to complete the level. So just make sure that when the eggs start coming out, you let a bunch of them hit the floor first. That way you can unlock the achievement. Alright, so this next level is fairly easy. You have to start by collecting all of the small items first. Grab the crate here. It's got a little bit of honey on it. Then you can come over to the frog. And get the frog to grab onto that, and then you'll be able to go ahead and swallow the frog. Once you swallow the frog, you can go underneath each of these bees' nests and shoot the frog up, he'll grab onto the bee nest and pull it down. Once that happens, it's going to leave a bumblebee in its place. You can then use the frog in order to grab onto the bumblebee as well. Finish grabbing the last of the items, that way it'll then take you to the next section of this level. In the next section here, you're going to see a guy hanging from the tree, and you're going to see a bunch of bees. Start by collecting all the small things again that are on the floor. Once you have all of the smaller items collected, you can send the frog up to grab onto all of the bumblebees that are by the tree. Then you're going to want to come over to the guy that's on the tree hanging. Sometimes this takes just a couple of tries, but the frog should grab onto the guy and pull him down right off of the branch. Then once that happens, that's pretty much the end of the level there. Alright, in this next level here, there's going to be an outdoor section and an indoor section. The outdoor section we're going to do as normal, where we're just going to start by collecting all the small items first. Once we get to the indoor section, there is something that we can do in order to unlock an achievement here. Once that's done, it'll go ahead and take us inside. So start by grabbing the garbage that's on the floor here. Then we're going to come over to the right where you see that ring. It'll pull the ring down. There's going to be soup spilling. You can bring the hole over towards the soup. Fill it up with the soup. Then what you're going to need to do is to try to get so many salt and pepper without being touched by the cockroach bugs. Every time that you put some salt and pepper into the soup, you're gonna want 2 salt and 3 pepper. As soon as you get the 2 salt and 3 pepper, it's gonna turn it like an orange color. Once it's an orange color, you'll know that your recipe is correct. When it's ready, go ahead and feed it quickly to the bird before any of the bugs touch you. Then you'll unlock the achievement Secret Soup. Then it's going to take you back outside where we can go ahead and finish up the level here. Start again by taking the smaller items, working our way to the bigger items. Until we can finally go ahead and swallow the building. Alright, in this next level there is an achievement, but the achievement is very easy because it's for swallowing the donut shop in the center. So again, we're just going to start by swallowing up the small items, working our way up to the larger items until we're finally able to swallow the donut shop in the middle at the end. Once you've swallowed the donut shop, you'll get the achievement Donut County by destroying the donut shop. So this next level I think is the hardest level of the whole game. It was definitely my least favorite to do. It's going to start by having you start inside the house. There's very little light. The only light is from the candles here. Eventually you're going to be able to grab a flashlight and get a little bit more light. So go ahead and start by picking up the candles. Once you're done with that, you'll see the fridge there. Next to the fridge is the flashlight. The flashlight will give you a little bit of light here. Continue around to swallow all of the smaller items. Now be careful because what we just saw right there moving is actually a cat that's trying to scare you. If the cat scares you, you're going to lose your light. So just keep going around, swallowing up all the smaller items, being able to work our way up to the larger items. Just try to stay away from the cat if possible. Once you've swallowed most of the items, the cat will jump up here, the light will turn on, and you'll be able to see some of the larger items and be able to swallow them at that time. Then it'll take you outside here, where you can go ahead and swallow all of the items until you can work your way up to swallowing the entire haunted house in the middle. That will complete the level on that one. Alright, so this next level is a carnival amusement park level. We're going to start by swallowing the small items first, working our way up. Eventually we're going to be able to go to the little machine on the right of the screen and get the little water balloons. And then we'll be able to catapult items up here in order to get our water balloon, and then we can use the water on this little wheel in order to move the boat up the hill. So we're just going to need to do that multiple times. We're going to have to throw the fish up in order to get the water balloon out, take the water balloon over, make sure that it breaks if it hasn't, and then throw the water into the wheel. That's going to cause the boat to keep going up, up, up the hill. Once he finally reaches the top of the hill, he's going to swing around and come down to the end here. He's going to get stuck on this little section in the middle here that's missing. In order to fix this missing piece, you're going to need to shoot something underneath that tunnel. That will push the little piece up. That way the boat can continue the rest of the way down. At the very end there, he's going to get a picture taken of himself. Now you can go ahead and swallow up the boat. You'll be able to swallow up the gumball machine. So the next thing you want to do is get the hole filled with water, and then once you have the water in the hole, you want to go under the Ferris wheel kind of off to the side and squirt the water up. That's going to spin the Ferris wheel really, really fast. You're going to do that a couple of times. So just keep grabbing the water and just keep shooting it up at the Ferris wheel. After just a couple of times, you'll see that the Ferris wheel comes off, it hits the building. Now you're going to have another achievement unlocked here for doing this. Once it breaks the building, you're going to get your achievement. The Flume is doomed for destroying the Raccoon Lagoon. Then you can just finish up by swallowing all the rest of the pieces. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do here is pick up all the small items first. Then you'll be able to get the car to go back and forth until the coffee finally falls off. Go ahead and swallow the coffee, and then just jiggle it back and forth a little bit until you can get the car to fit into the hole. Then you're going to go to the next section where you can again start by grabbing all of the smaller items, working the way up to the bigger items. You'll be able to swallow the chairs with the raccoons in them. Then in this last area here, what you're going to want to do is catapult the donut up to the raccoon until the raccoon grabs onto the donut and gives up the camera. Then you can swallow the camera and start catapulting the camera up towards each of the raccoons. When it takes the picture of the raccoon, it causes the raccoon to crash onto the ground. Once that happens, you'll be able to go ahead and grab all the items off of the ground. Then you can go ahead and catapult all the raccoons up onto the hot air balloon. Then we have another little raccoon that comes down here. And when he gets low, you can go ahead and flash him twice with the camera. Once that happens, he will also go ahead and crash, and you'll be able to collect all of those items. And then toss him up towards the hot air balloon in order to make it heavy enough to where it comes down. Then you can start grabbing all of the cars that are stuck in traffic there. They'll just empty right into the hole, making it bigger and bigger and bigger. Once you're done swallowing all of the cars, that will complete this level. So the next thing you're going to have here is a little cutscene. Once that's done, we'll go to the next level here. You're going to start by swallowing all of the smaller items. Once you swallow all of the items on the floor, we're going to have another little conversation here. They're going to be talking about a hacking device. Once you have that hacking device, you're going to catapult it up into the camera, which is going to allow us to hack into the camera. It's going to unlock an achievement called Hacker. Here we're going to pick up all the small items that you see. Then you're going to go into the hallway and go into the main hallway. Swallow all the little items that you see here in the main hallway. Once done with that, we're going to move over into the security room. Once you swallow enough items, you'll get the catapult. You can then catapult something into the shelf, which will knock that over. You'll be able to go ahead and suck up all those items. Then we're going to come back into the hallway and go into the biology lab by catapulting the card into the card reader. So this room is a little confusing. You're going to start by collecting all of the smaller items. Then you can go ahead and grab the raccoons, and then finally the cage in the middle. That's going to give us the snake tail again. So you want to hit up, left, down, left, and then grab. Up, left, down, left, grab. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, sometimes you have to do it faster. Up, left, down, left, grab. If done correctly, it'll show you that the security door is open. After that, you can do what I'm doing here, where you just go over and grab the cages off of the shelf here. Once you get the cages off of the shelf and onto the floor, you'll be able to go over to them. Once you have the frog, you can go ahead and catapult up and grab all of the flies first. Then you can pick up all of the cage items in the middle. Then you can go ahead and catapult the frog up so that he can grab on to the little shelf that the bunnies are on. That way it pulls it down, allowing the bunnies to fall onto the floor so that we can go ahead and grab those. Once you've grabbed the bunnies, they're going to go ahead and mate again, making the hole very huge. And all of the bunnies will come shooting out of the hole again. Then you can go ahead and go to the main hallway where you can grab all the little bunnies that are bouncing around. Once you're done grabbing all of the bunnies, then you can make your way back over towards the security. If you did the secret code correctly, once you're in the security room, you're going to see that the door over to the side is actually open now. You can go in there and collect a bunch of gold and jewels. It will unlock another achievement for you. You'll be able to get the bandit achievement for breaking into the vault. And make sure you grab the bunny in the main hallway there that had the blue key. Once you have the blue key, you can come back over into the lab rooms, use that key to unlock the next room. Once we start in here, you can go ahead and start by grabbing everything small first, working our way up like normal. Once you swallow the garbage, you'll see that it's going to light a fire again. Then grab the firework and launch it to the left onto the screen. It'll break it into pieces. You'll get another achievement for destroying the Trash King's monitor. So this level is interesting. What you're going to want to do is allow the hole to fill with water. That way you can go over to the left where the electricity is. It's going to short circuit and it's going to cause the turntable in the middle to start moving. You'll need the firework to get lit by the fireplace. Once the firework is lit, you can then shoot it up to the right into that open cabinet. Then you'll go to the main hallway. You'll see that the main door in the middle there becomes open. You're going to go down that way. Once you enter here, you're going to see a very long hallway. You're going to grab these little donuts as they light up as we go down the hallway. Once we reach the end of the hallway, this is going to be the beginning of the boss battle. You'll have a lot of dialogue to read through. So now when you start the boss battle, the first thing we're going to do is get one of the achievements, which is actually to lose the battle with the boss. So if you kind of just hold still, the boss is going to keep attacking you, and then over time, you'll just end up losing, and then we can get that achievement. So let's do that first. Once you're finally defeated, you will get that achievement of losing to the boss fight. Then there's going to be a little bit of dialogue back and forth here. Then it's going to start you right back where you started. Now we can go ahead and get back into the boss fight to continue. You will get the achievement Game Over for losing the boss fight. So for the next achievement here, we're going to have to beat the boss, but we have to do it without getting hit. The boss battle is not too hard. If you do end up getting hit, just go ahead and restart it. So what you want to do is pretty much just keep moving around so that he can't lock on to you with the laser. Once he starts dropping the bombs, you're going to want to grab the little one, go under his ship, and catapult it up to damage him. Then you're going to have to just keep running around, just making sure not to get hit. And then again, just keep grabbing the small bombs. Make sure that his ship has stopped moving before you catapult it up, otherwise you will miss him. You will need to hit him with the bombs 3 times in order to finally defeat him. So after you defeat him the first time, there's going to be a little bit of dialogue. After that, you're going to want to grab the hacking device, swallow it, and catapult it up to the ship so you can hack into it. Then you're going to want to grab all of these little bombs and also catapult them up to keep hitting his ship. You're just going to want to hit him with all 6 of those small bombs that are on the floor. Once that happens, his ship will break apart. You're going to get the next achievement, which is going to be called Flawless, for completing the boss fight without taking any damage. Then you can go ahead and swallow up all of the little pieces that are on the floor. You're going to look like a tornado now. You're going to want to go to the very front here to destroy the Trash King's monument. It's going to give you another achievement. So start there first, going to the front to swallow up that monument. Then you can come to the back to work on the building. It's just going to keep breaking apart into small pieces. Once that's done, the achievement will be unlocked for boss fight, which is for winning the boss fight. After that, you're going to have some more dialogue back and forth here. After completing the boss fight, there's a small part left to go. All of the people that are in the underground cave are going to get launched up towards the sky. There's going to be dialogue back and forth with each of these characters. Once you've sent everybody back above ground, you'll receive another achievement for bringing everybody back. That achievement is called Redeemed. Then while you're a drone in this end credit scene, you're going to want to fly up and forward in order to steer straight through the middle of this donut. That'll give you the achievement Pilot for flying through the donut hole. Then once you see this chain with the anchor, you're just going to want to follow it as high up as you can go before you finally see this ship. Once you finally get to the top here and you're able to see the ship, you're going to get another achievement here. You have to just keep going up until you finally get there. Just takes a little while. Alright, once you finally get here, then you're going to get that achievement called Escape for finding the Trash King's secret getaway vehicle. Then once you finish the game here, you're going to start getting all of the end credits. At the very end here, it's going to ask if you want to look through the Trashopedia. You're going to want to click yes to look at that. So just keep going through all the credits here until you get to the end, until it asks you about the Trashopedia, and then just make sure that you click yes that you want to look at it. Now you can go ahead and click the right arrow real quick, scroll through everything. This is every item that you collected in the game. Just click through every single one here. It takes just a second. You have to go through every single item in order to get the achievement. Once you get to the end, you'll get the achievement Nerd for completing the Trashopedia. Now once you're done here, you're going to go back to level select and select the Gecko Park level. You're going to want to go back and do whichever one of the achievements is going to be the opposite for you. So if you collected everything, including the boombox the first time, you'll have been able to do Trashopedia. And the thing you'll have to do now is to not swallow the boombox. That will give you the next achievement. If the first time you went through, you didn't swallow the boombox, you'll have to select this level and go back and complete it by swallowing everything, including the boombox, first before you go back and look through all of the items in the Trashopedia. And that'll be it. So that is Donut County. This is a great example of a game that's very simple, fun, just the right amount of weird. The writing's pretty clever, the music's super chill, the feeling of swallowing half a town really doesn't seem to get old. So thanks for hanging out with me through the full run. If you enjoyed this walkthrough, please hit like and subscribe. Let me know in the comments if there's some other kind of indie game that you would want to see next. Until next time!